So, wait, I need to clarify. The image is he's a pair of eyes and a pair of hands?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Is he
Not
like?
skeleton. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's it for the two.
Okay.
I have many more hauntings, but it's time for one of Steven's classic hauntings.
Uh-oh. Or I can add a new one too if need be.
Oh, you
But,
have a new one? Oh, please.
oh, we
Where
have.
is this?
Well, I emailed them to you earlier, but they're mostly still.
I have the ones from the Realms by Night.
Yeah, and well, I was trying to add a few other bits of color and flavor, but where's some of the ones that I never did a full write-up of for the website. I think the last one I did was the cash ghosts, which are in the harbor. And part of the reason why I stopped doing the articles is I kept getting badgered to give them stat blocks so there's something for the PCs to fight. And it's like, that's not what we agreed this series of articles would be. These aren't adventure hooks as much as their flavor. And so since they wanted it to be something to fight, it's like, yeah, okay, I guess I'm done. But things like, well, here, 2 nights a year. Heck, did I write this wrong? Yawning Portal is in Castle Ward or Dock Ward?
It would be far better if it were in Dock Ward, where it is.
Yeah, for some reason my note says Castle Ward, C48.
Well, it is in Castle Ward, I thought, right here.
Okay, that's right.
Did they move the boundaries again? Okay, so it's
they may have. Okay, or
yeah.
I don't know.
Don't worry.
Anyway, here's my quick brief note of 2 nights a year, the 30th of Marpenoth and the 1st of Myrtul. Any number of ghosts of those slain and unburied down in Undermountain will make their way to the bottom of the shaft to the Yawning Portal. And they will come up in the winch, or is that still there? I'm not sure. I haven't read the 5th edition stuff on it, but I assume the winch is still there.
Well, it has to be still there, or nobody could ever come up. Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
And the deal is, you get drawn up again, assuming you survive.
Yeah. Well, So those 2 nights, there's going to be a lot of ghosts coming up in the basket, and then they're staring silently at patrons in the tavern, hoping somebody will pay their fare so they can get out of the basket. And then, so anybody who dares, who actually reaches out and makes contact with one of these things has a pretty high chance of getting a geese put on them to finish that person's final wish, or to go down into the Undermountain, find their body so they can bury it.
You know what? I like the idea that the geese is that not knowing they interact with the ghost, and then now they're compelled to finish this quest for them. I like that.
Now you've also got things like, if anybody pays the fare for these ghosts that come up in the basket, they can either become wandering ghosts in the city, or they may just dissipate with a smile and a thank you.
Right. No, what's the fun of that? They won't dissipate.
Well, you never know.
Well, they'll probably go and visit people and places that matter to them in life, like somebody else's house.
That's right.
Well, yeah, but that was one of the things I'd forgotten, that I was rereading some of the bits with the Stardock module that with Alastair's High Harvesttide, and there were several hundred skeletons or zombies that were coming out of Undermountain and coming under attack by all sorts, and all they wanted to do was just get themselves back home. See their family one last time before they'd collapse into a heap of rotted bones or whatever. But I would almost posit that maybe on these 2 nights of the year, since it seems to happen every year, Durnan would probably possibly close the yawning portal to regular customers and fill the place with I don't know, the clergy of Torm, or people more apt to want to take on tasks for others.
Right.
Or is that too heavy-handed? What do you think?
No, I think that's cool.
Okay. I mean, it runs a little counter to how Durnan seems to operate, wanting, but given that these ghosts, there's always going to be scores of them, at least. Even in a light year, there's going to be scores of them coming up, and you need people to help get rid of them.
You can make it as a as a test of Torm to take on one of these tasks and finish the quest for them, so their soul can be at peace.
Yeah.
So it could be, if they have the acolytes in the group, then that would work out.
Okay. Back to you, Ed.
Okay. So let me give you a one.
Can you bring your video down just a little bit, Ed? There you go. We want to see your whole beautiful bearded face.
Yes, well, yeah,
I was going to suggest we get him a box to stand on.
The chair is giving up the ghost underneath me. That's why.
Oh, it's the ghost.
Settling it. No. Okay. So, so take us back to Ship Street in Dockward. We've been there before.
We've been. Yes.
Okay.
We'll go back here. I know. And it's not coming up.
Here we are.
But here, you mean?
Yeah. The thing, there it is. See it? We see the word Dockward. Go down diagonally southwest from the W. You'll see Ship Street.
Here it is. Got it.
There's Ship Street. Okay.
It's easy to find. Just remember, Fish and Ship Street meet.
Oh, did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, and Andrea Hayday read the manuscript of FR1 Waterdeep in the North, and she wrote in the margin, "Ha ha 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 ha! Is this Canadian humor?" And I didn't have the heart to tell her. I was like 5 when I wrote that, and it didn't even occur to me, But anyway.
That's great. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave Andrea smoking a huge, thick cigar and going over my manuscript and going, "Yeah, this guy thinks he's pretty funny, huh?" And we will go to a haunting that will occur. Well, Embra Cathanter. This is not a noble. It's just a sound-alike surname. It's Embra, E-M-B-R-A, Cathanter, C-A-T-H-A-N-T-E-R, Embra Cathanter, who was slain by a cone of cold spell while trying to avenge her murdered older sister Martara on Ship Street in Dockward on the night of the 3rd of Nightle in 1378 DR. She manifests as an invisible force that slips into living beings and compels them to rush at others while drawing any dagger, belt knife, or other bladed weapon they have. But they will feel such an intense cold that they will collapse, helpless. Like they won't be stabbing anybody. They'll run right up to somebody and then fall at their feet, writhing because they're just shivering uncontrollably. And then she will be gone as swiftly as she came. This haunting is well known enough that the Watch will understand when someone is afflicted with Embra, and no charges will be pressed.
Okay.
So on Ship Street, where does it happen? Will we get more of a closer to the Cod Lane, or?
Halfway between Odd Street and Presper Street, pretty much where the S for street is in the Ship Street name.
Okay.
Right in here. So right here.
And she'll appear around the R in the word street and rush toward that S.
So she appears in the street, not in the building.
Yeah, in the street.
Okay, I thought you said she was an invisible presence.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But that's where she manifests.
She manifests there, but she's invisible, and then
she
take anybody. Anybody.
Yeah, she'll slip into a person. Now, some people can fight it, and what they'll probably be doing is going, because the cold is really getting to them, and they'll clutch at themselves, because they're shivering, But if anybody knows about this, they will probably get the hell away from that person as fast as they can because they know it's coming.
So has she ever caused anybody to murder somebody else because they were afflicted?
No, because nobody has hung on long enough without collapsing yet.
Oh, so she hasn't slipped into a white dragonborn or something like that?
No, not yet. Now, in theory, she could cause that, but she just never has yet.
Yeah.
So what's the reason why she's doing this?
Because she's trying to avenge the person
her sister,
who killed her sister with a cone of cold spell. She's trying to rush at the source of the cold, the spellcaster.
And because she still sees it as that area right there.
Yeah.
As a spirit, she thinks it's still there. Okay.
Yeah, she's still caught in that exact moment. She's not
right.
Yeah.
She just, it's all of her anger and focus on revenge. It's not any cognizant
So her
thing.
spirit is trapped in a causality loop.
Yeah.
So when this happens, is she targeting somebody, or is it somebody who happens to step in her way?
Well, she's slipping into the body of anybody who's handy, and she's rushing to that spot, between the P and the S in the ship street there on the map. She's rushing to that spot to try and attack anybody who's standing there, because that's where the long gone spellcaster was standing when he or she unleashed this cone of cold.
That's so awesome.
What's the trigger for the possession? Is it if you cross that particular path, or could it happen twice in a day or twice in an hour?
It could happen twice in a day, but it happens very rarely. She seems to need a long time to gather strength.
Okay.
But in theory, it could happen multiple times. Nobody knows, because this is one of those things like the Watchful Order of Mages and Protectors is terribly busy. We can't investigate everything. We're so busy. We're so important. Surely somebody else who could pay could.
There's no money in it for them. Yes, we know.
Bingo.
It costs a lot of time and spells to keep the women safe.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The festival.
Sure. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket.
Yeah, you get it. It's sort of like any modern political party and fixing the economy. We're dedicated to that. Yeah. We're working hard on that.
We'll get right on it.
We're hardly working on that. Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Okay.
So, Stephen, let's jump over to one of yours, the Phantom Milkmaid.
Why? Where? I seem to have lost the video for some reason, and I don't know. There you are. Okay. You got shunted to one side there. The Phantom Milkmaid, I originally had her... Oh, she's another one of those wanderer types that...
Northward, southward, city walls, north of the city, beyond the north gate.
Any of the gates of the city she will appear at.
Well, let me read what you have here. She comes over the rise and runs like her heels are on fire. I've seen her about 5 times, all told, and every time she takes me by surprise and leaves me with a clammy sweat that comes from sharing her terror.
Yeah. And
wow, this is why Stephen should be writing steamy romance novels. Folks.
I know. She lays staked out in the sun.
There goes the library. No.
Yeah.
What was it, Ed? She lays staked out naked in the sun.
No. She will. She's just kind of one of these ghosts that heralds bad stuff coming. And I'm not going to read through all the very long and tortured text here, but if you see this young woman running towards whichever gate, most often it's the gate to North Ward, which is now in Fields Ward apparently. So it might even be whatever the outer gates for Fields Ward are.
Right. So right, like
yeah.
Troll
So
Gate?
it could be the Troll Gate. No, more likely the
North Gate?
the North Gate of the High Ward and the High Road.
Yeah, the High Road. Right here.
Obviously, there's another ward now attached onto that a bit, but there are several songs about her in the city. The Phantom Milkmaid and the Gallant Guard, which go into the bloody end of the poor young man. But yeah, it's more or less, if she shows up, she will fall to the ground and then vanish. But it's understood by the guard gates, or at least it ought to be, unless you're an utter rookie and have never heard the stories. There's trouble on whichever road she appears to be running off of and toward the city. So it's usually...
What kind of trouble are we talking about?
It could be anything from bandits to a pack of trolls. It could be it could be anything. All you know is that she keeps glancing behind herself and, in terror, and then runs forward. Something will always snag her tattered blue shawl and pull it away, rending it into rags. She will, so yes, once she gets within 50 yards of whichever gate, most commonly the North Gate, she will trip over something, stumble forward, seem to be attacked from behind by something invisible, and right then is when she vanishes. So it's really a clue toward something is on the road and within 10 miles of the city. I'm looking at my old notes here. She actually appeared on the road and tripped over a phantom crown the night that King Jazzer of Tethir was slaughtered in his bed, starting the Tethir curse in Waterdeep.
Oh, wow.
So...
And apparently they take this seriously, because it says that the guard will go looking for trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her. I mean, it's definitely... It's, 9 times out of 10, it's something outside and it's trouble coming toward the city.
And it says within 10 miles, so it's not just it can start way farther out.
Oh, yeah. But there are other ghosts out in the Golden Fields area that would probably point you in better directions. But oh, wait, okay. Field Ward is on this map, duh.
Yeah, right there.
That when you come down, straight down from the W, that's the old North Gate, I assume.
Right here,
right? Yeah. Okay. Hadn't realized that part, duh. So, that North Gate is very shiny and new. Might even have working guard robes. One thing I was wanting to talk with you about, Ed, was something a little broader than just a specific ghost or a haunting, but what the city, the lords, and the heads of all the churches and temples in the city, they have an understanding about all these spectral visitations and so forth. Well, yeah, I'm wondering what you've got in the background of your...
Oh, no, they don't want to stop any of these, because every single one of them is a reminder to the common people of, hey, you need us, because all that stands between you and getting murdered in your beds by ghostly hands is us. So, step right up and fill those offering plates. Seriously.
Well, it's partly that, but it's also, I wanted to throw out the idea that similar to the much storied but rarely proven things like the dragon ward of Waterdeep, keeping dragons out.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you don't allow your young acolytes of the church to go out and eradicate every little haunting and every little ghostly visitation and every little alleyway that gives you the shivers on every third night or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not actually. There's some very quiet laws written down on the books by the lords that would say the energies within these things are important to the city.
Right.
Partly, it's less. If you stripped away all the energy of the hauntings up here, that would be. It would make it a lot easier for stuff from further down to come up.
Mm-hmm.
So having hauntings on the surface helps keep worse stuff down below.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's kind of vague, but it's it's not one I'd want to get into mechanically, but it's more why you don't have all sorts of low-level missionary types going around saying, I can take care of this ghost for you. It's like partly, at least I've got at least 3 ghosts that haunt very particular noble families, and it's like the lords don't want to get rid of them because, frankly, they need that rolled-up newspaper to bat those nobles on the nose with.